The scene begins with Jin-Eon's second brother confronting him with unease. He asks whether Jin-Eon plans to dismiss guard captain Ouyang Hu and if that's the reason he's attending the General Assembly. He reminds Jin-Eon that they're just a merchant group and warns him that people like Ouyang Hu are far beyond their level. Jin-Eon stops walking and coldly addresses him by name, Ouyang. He turns, staring directly into his brother's eyes, and asks if he knows what happens when a martial artist of the Jianghu is underestimated. The one making such assumptions, Jin-Eon warns, is the one who gets devoured. He tells his brother to look at the current state of the Yunha merchant group. The second brother glances around and sees how completely different factions have encroached into their business. Jin-Eon points out that it's already being devoured. Though his brother is visibly worried and realizes how powerful the Ouyang clan has become, Jin-Eon places a reassuring hand on his shoulder and smiles, telling him not to worry. As the older brother, he'll handle everything. Fast forward to the present, Ouyang, now standing as the group's overseer, watches nervously, his thoughts echoing disbelief. Handle this? Is this really how you're handling it, brother? Tension erupts as members of the Ouyang clan raise their swords at Jin-Eon, shouting in alarm and demanding to know the meaning of this madness. Guard Captain Ouyang Hu watches furiously from the side, thinking Jin-Eon has finally gone mad. But before anyone can act further, the guard squad's vice-captain steps in, outraged that swords were drawn against Jin-Eon. The squad quickly surrounds Jin-Eon to protect him. The vice-captain urges him to step back, but before he can finish, Jin-Eon calmly responds from behind, saying he's right. He flicks his hair back, his expression filled with quiet rage, and scolds them for drawing swords against their employer. The Ouyang clan members are stunned by his boldness. Jin-Eon says they must have a death wish, and despite feeling a little bad for the guard captain, he'll count this confrontation as compensation. Ouyang Hu scoffs at the word compensation, but Jin-Eon clarifies it's for ruining his retirement plans. The captain flinches as Jin-Eon begins exposing him. He reveals that Ouyang Hu orchestrated an assassination attempt using physician Gongsun Myung and even stirred a conflict between his own brothers to destabilize the family. Jin-Eon continues, explaining that his father's collapse was a result of this manipulation. Had Ouyang Hu just swayed one of the sons, he could have taken over the Yunha merchant group without lifting a finger. But instead of dying, Jin-Eon killed Gongsun Myung with his own hands, and that's where Ouyang Hu's fate began to change. The captain laughs, calling it delusion, but Jin-Eon assures him it's real. He sent Gongsun off in a single strike. With a sneer, he turns his back, casually commenting that Ouyang should have worked harder if he wanted to devour a major merchant group. He even jokes about filing claims for the damage caused. Ouyang Hu's rage explodes. A dark purple aura swirls around his clenched fist as he shouts, calling Jin-Eon an arrogant brat. But Jin-Eon only smirks and utters, "Got you." In a flash, Ouyang Hu launches forward, furious. Jin-Eon counters immediately, his fist crackling with lightning as he charges head-on. Their collision sends out a massive shockwave that forces all onlookers back. Ouyang Hu clenches his teeth in disbelief. Jin-Eon is using lightning energy. He's learned martial arts? The two land back on the ground. The Ouyang clan is shaken. They can't believe Jin-Eon blocked the guard captain's strike. Jin-Eon rubs his neck, wincing slightly. Ouyang Hu glares and questions whether it's even okay to hit someone who just finished recovering. Jin-Eon smirks and says it's fine since this is an official duel. Ouyang Hu fumes and calls him a cocky bastard. He raises his voice, calling all guard squad and Ouyang clan witnesses to testify. With Jin-Eon's consent, this will be an official duel. He grins mockingly and asks if that's good enough. But Jin-Eon raises his fists like a boxer and declares, "No, a life or death duel." Ouyang Hu steps back, taken aback by Jin-Eon's confidence. He acknowledges Jin-Eon's progress and suspects he's trained under a powerful sect, but promises to teach him the difference between talent and experience. Jin-Eon dodges his charge effortlessly. As Ouyang Hu questions what's happening, Jin-Eon forms a lightning-infused fist and replies coldly, "You dare speak of experience to me?" With that, he slams his fist into Ouyang Hu's stomach, sending him flying. Ouyang coughs up blood, screaming in shock. Jin-Eon steps forward and declares he'll now show him what true experience looks like. Using swift footwork, he activates enlightened mobility art and strikes again. Ouyang Hu braces, but the force is overwhelming. He thinks something is wrong. This doesn't feel like someone who just learned martial arts. It feels like fighting his seasoned master. In desperation, Ouyang Hu draws on his full strength, forming a blade of aura and initiating three-form sword art. He refuses to lose. But before he can land his strike, Jin-Eon vanishes and reappears under his blade using rapid stride. Ouyang is stunned. When did he get there? Jin-Eon twists his fist and softly says farewell. His uppercut sends Ouyang Hu crashing through the top floor, then flying into the sky. The explosion is so immense that even Jin-Eon's father, resting at home, is awakened by the shockwave. One of the servants asks what's going on. The group leader calmly replies, "My son appears to have learned martial arts." Back at the battle, Jin-Eon glares down at the fallen Ouyang Hu. Members of the Ouyang clan rush over in panic. One of them threatens Jin-Eon, but he doesn't flinch. He simply asks if they want to be killed too. Another clan member steps forward and admits the duel was fair. He folds his hands and warns that if the Ouyang clan continues to seek revenge through duels, the Yunhee merchant group won't be able to avoid it. The air is heavy, but Jin-Eon stays composed. He says he never hoped to be free from grudges. If someone shows him kindness, he'll repay it. If there's a grudge, he'll return that too. Any consequences will be his alone, not the group's. His second brother warns him it's too dangerous, but Jin-Eon declares that the Yunhee merchant group belongs to him, to their father, to the guard squad who welcomed back a discarded young master, and to the stable hands who feel joy just watching him eat. This group, he says, won't be toyed with by scum. He turns to the enemies and tells them to get lost. They're all fired. The allies cheer and the enemies retreat. Jin-Eon folds his hands and calmly stands before his people. One guard shouts in joy, "Young Master Jin-Eon really won," before being muffled. The vice-captain scolds them not to celebrate yet and reminds them they should feel ashamed for not acting, though even he admits it was impressive. Jin-Eon turns to his brother and says, "Chief Administrator." His brother responds, "Yes, sir." Jin-Eon says, "Buy me an elixir. I said I'd take responsibility, so I should at least get that much support, right?" His brother agrees and promises the best tonic available. Jin-Eon adds that hiring new guards and managing supplies will keep him busy. But for the guard squad, he already has a few people in mind. As the chapter closes, an unknown figure quietly asks, "Are you sure? It was that Lee Jin-Eon?"